Dan Reichert and I know each other from, we went to KU together, University of Kansas, and we met at a house party.
Yes.
I forget how we started talking. You probably remember because you were in love with me.
Oh, that's it.
Oh, I love this.
Okay, so here's my memory of the night.
Okay.
It was a house party on like Louisiana and 15th or something in Lawrence. And I met you. I think no one introduced us or anything. We just kind of started talking somehow.
Yeah.
And we got on comedy. I think you mentioned that you were looking to get into comedy. And so we just, I'm kind of a big comedy dork, and we were rattling stuff back and forth or whatever. And I remember like really hitting it off. Like, oh man, like yeah, she's really interesting and stuff. And somehow it came up the first time we talked that we were both 21-year-old virgins.
Wow. I was like unashamed about it. And
me too.
To be honest, you probably brought it up first. And then I was like trying to make you feel better. Like, yeah,
Maybe.
me too.
That was my great strategy back then was if I complain enough about being a virgin, somebody will just have sex with me.
You really were like very open about that stuff. You were terrible with women.
Yes. I was really bad.
You were so frustrated by it.
Yeah. And it was once
I mean, obviously, you're a 21-year-old man.
Well, and then when it finally actually happened was when I started like growing my hair out and I looked all homeless and stuff.
Drinking a lot of Old Crow.
Yeah, which we'll get to the Lost Virginity story, which you pid a key role in.
Key role.
But I
facilitated. I was a pimp for you.
You basically were, yeah.
Or my friend. Who knows?
So we were talking that night, and so I developed this like schoolboy crush because I'm like, oh my god, we're both into comedy and stuff. We're both 21-year-old virgins. Like, we just met at this house party. This is like this perfect thing, and we kept hanging out. And I would, like, bring up that I was interested in you or whatever, like, from time to time. I was really bad at this, so I'm sure it was really stammering.
No, I give you credit for that. That's not easy to do. I mean, I think I knew that you had a crush on me because you were a 21-year-old virgin, and, like,
yes.
I was a girl, and we connected on, like, a level that, like, most girls probably aren't as cool as I am when it comes to, like, comedy knowledge and stuff.
Right.
And you seem to really appreciate that. And, yeah, I remember, but the thing is, like, there's nothing less attractive to a 21-year-old virgin girl than a 21-year-old virgin guy.
Nope, I learned that pretty quick.
You just want a guy to, like, throw you up against a wall and fuck you when you're a girl, like, and you were, like, so jumbly and just, like, awkward and just the opposite of that.
Yeah, and constantly bringing up the virginity thing was not the best thing to do.
Yeah, you talk too much about that. But you were hilarious, and you were, like, we instantly had a good friendship. So tell me more things. Fill in the gaps for me.
I'll have to pull up the note thing of me trying to remember bullshit from college here.
Oh my god, I'm so excited.
I remember, I would bring up that I was into you and stuff. And, you were very nice, and you were saying stuff like, I really want to be, like, great friends with you and stuff. I know when I want something more than that, and, I just want to be great friends with you. And I kept bringing it up and stuff. And we would be at bars and stuff. And I specifically...
Oh, yes! I do remember this. Like, you would just be so, like, sad and, like, emphatic about how I remember this.
And this was after I had sent you that email you talked about where it's like, what about me makes me undateable to you? And, like, this is like...
sending fucking weird emails is probably...
That's, like, the only time I ever did that. I'm not the weird, like, I'm going to get drunk and send an email about my feelings.
No. The thing is, it was probably my fault. We should have dated them because we were so compatible. We were both virgins.
But we were both idiots with that stuff.
And I just was... the fact that I was a virgin was I wasn't even, like, into guys really yet. Like, I didn't even know how to... I was also, like, a fumbling idiot. Like, I needed a guy to just, like, rape me to, like, get it over with. Do you know what I mean? Like, I would have been... If I was just to, like... I didn't really mean that, but, like... don't do that to 21-year-old virgins, please. That is not what we want. But, I mean, I just needed someone to, like, kind of, like... take control, and you were not going to be that kind of person. But on paper, no one would have argued that we would have been a perfect couple.
Right, but we were also perfect for just being really good friends, which is what wound up happening.
Yeah.
But I specifically remember the point where I just kind of shut up about that stuff, and I just accepted, like, okay, we're just going to be really good friends, is we were at the Jazz House on Mass Street.
Oh, my God.
And it was me and you were there, and you were telling me, because I had convinced you to start working at the place,
I know
the KU
exactly
Endowment Association, and there was that one guy that, like, you went on a date with, and he put your hand over the candle and, like, held it down, and you were showing me, like, yeah, this guy was a dick. He burnt, like, he had a big blister on your hand.
Yeah, my friend and I went out, I liked that guy, and there was candles in the middle of the table, and he was, like, such a badass. He was, like, showing us how he could snuff out the flame just by, like, putting his hand over the candle. And, like, the thing. And my friend was with me. She was visiting, and my friend Catherine, and she was like, I'm going to try it. And she did it. And he just held her hand over it.
Like fucking Tyler Durden style?
Yes. And then she was just like, she did it, but she was like, ow. And then I did it. He did the same thing to me. And we woke up the next day and Catherine had a huge blister. I had a pretty bad one, but we were like, I was like, oh, we'll show him tonight because we were supposed to see him that night. And I was like, he'll feel really bad. And we showed him. He was like, serves you right. Like,
gotcha.
We were like, you're such
I burned
a dick.
you with fire.
And I never kissed him again.
Yeah, so we were at the Jazz House, and I remember you telling me that story and
John.
me being like, why are you dating dicks like this? Like, why aren't we dating? And you said something to me, because at this point, I'd probably brought it up numerous times.
Oh
You're wincing. Do you remember what you said?
No, it was probably so mean and so like.
No,
just
it's more hilarious than anything.
Okay.
You said, so we were at the Jazz House, we were both pretty drunk, and you said something like, I can tell you're really into this, and you're being nice about this and everything. So, like, what... If we just, like, made out tonight, would that get you over this hump or whatever? And, like, if I just, like, made out with you tonight, would that get it out of your head or whatever? And I remember thinking distinctly, like, that sounds really fun, but that also sounds like the saddest thing, or, like, a pity make-out to, like, get me to stop asking you out.
That's so... Why didn't you take me up on that? You're insane.
Because that sounded so damn sad, though. Like, a pity make-out.
It does sound... I've done that with another friend of mine who was, like, really into me. And
Did it work?
You know what? I think he like was like a little bit disappointed in it. Like I think he had built it up in his, because that's what it would have happened. I think that's what I was trying to tell you is like, it's like the Saved by the Bell thing. You know, when they would be attracted to each other, they're like, we should kiss to see if there's anything here.
Right.
And then they kiss and be like, we're just friends. But then Screech would have seen just the kiss and he was like, oh, Zach, and he rips his shirt. And so that's an actual thing that happens. And so I think that was, my friend Sean would like beg me. He was just like, please, can we make out? Because we were like sleeping in a bed together. I used to do that with my guy friends, like just torturing them. But I wasn't doing it to torture them. I was just like, they're my friends, you know, and I'm staying over at their place. I don't want to sleep on the couch and I don't want them to sleep on the floor. I feel bad. So I would sleep in the same bed. And I just remember him being like, can we just make out? And I was like, okay, if I make out with you, this will be it. And he was like, okay. So I just like made out with him for like a second. And then he was just like, okay. And like, didn't like me after that at all. Like has moved on with his life. And it was, so that's so funny. I'm so glad you didn't take me up on that. That would have been weird.
I think that would have been super fucking weird. And let's see, I got a couple other notes from like those early conversations. Again, I guess my memory is pretty good.